Have you ever really thought about what it means to overcome? The book of Revelation makes this incredible promise, a victory over something it calls the second death. So today, we're going to tear that mystery wide open. Let's dive in.
So this is it. Revelation 2:11. This is the verse that gets this whole conversation started. It's a huge promise, right? But it's aimed at someone called the overcomer. So who is that? And what in the world is this second death they're supposed to be safe from? That's exactly what we're here to figure out.
All right, so this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? To even begin to understand the victory being promised, we first have to wrap our heads around the very thing we're supposedly being saved from. So let's break it down.
The verse actually gives us our first big clue right at the beginning. It starts with this call to hear what the Spirit says. Now, that little phrase points to a very specific kind of listening, a sort of spiritual openness that's absolutely key to unlocking the whole promise.
Okay, so if we look at the original Greek, this is pretty cool. The word for ear is os, and it means so much more than just the thing on the side of your head. It's talking about a capacity to hear, a spiritual receptivity. It's like an invitation to tune into a totally different frequency.
So what does that mean? Well, it tells us this promise. It's not some kind of public announcement blasted over a loudspeaker for everyone. It's really for those who have intentionally tuned their spiritual ear, who are listening for a deeper truth. It's a personal call, not a broadcast to the masses. Okay, let's get to the main event, the big question. What is the second death? And to get it, we really have to see how it's totally different from the physical death that we're all familiar with. So you've got the first death. That's physical, right? The separation of our soul from our body. Happens to everyone. But then you have the second death. And that's entirely spiritual. It's an eternal separation from God himself. And here's the kicker. It has absolutely no power over the overcomer. And in the Greek, this term, ho deuteros thanatos, it's actually defined later in Revelation as the lake of fire. Now, this isn't really about physical flames. It's a powerful metaphor for a final, irreversible separation from the source of all life, light, and love, God. It's the ultimate spiritual death. So if the second death is this total, final separation, how in the world do you escape it? Well, the answer is right there in the verse. You have to become an overcomer. So let's find out exactly what that means. Okay, check this out. The Greek word here is nikon. And yeah, if that sounds familiar, it's because it's the root of the word Nike, the brand, named after the goddess of victory. It means to conquer, to prevail. But we're not talking about a physical battle. It's about being faithful, holding on through all the trials of life. And this is where everything changes. This whole idea of victory, it's not about dodging bullets or avoiding pain and suffering. No way. It's about finding the power to conquer through all of that. And how do you do it? By being in union with Jesus Christ. All right, so this union with Christ, what does that actually look like? Well, it completely flips our whole understanding of death on its head. It changes everything. You can think of it like a 3-step journey to victory. First, you die with Christ. This isn't morbid. It's about letting go of your old self, the self that's defined by fear and separation. Then you begin to live in him. You share in his new, resurrected life, a whole new identity. And the final result of that? You live eternally, in a place where the second death can't even touch you. And this isn't some one-off idea that only shows up in Revelation. The Apostle Paul talks about this exact same thing in Romans. He says, look, if we're dead with Christ, we shall also live with him. It's this consistent theme. When you share in his death, you are absolutely guaranteed to share in his life. So what this all boils down to is that Jesus completely redefines what death is. For anyone who is united with him, physical death isn't a terrifying brick wall at the end of the road. It's just a doorway, a simple passage into eternal life with God. Okay, so what does all this theology mean for you and me right now, today? Well, the implications are huge. It offers this incredible, unshakable security, even when the world feels chaotic. I mean, look at this from Revelation 20. It couldn't be clearer. On people like this, the second death has no power. None. Zero. It's been totally defanged. It's powerless against you. Think about the incredible assurance this gives you. Your victory is spiritual and eternal, so no amount of physical suffering can ever take it away. Why?
because Jesus already took on that ultimate separation for you. It means your soul is untouchable by the second death. And eternal life? It's not just some future hope. It becomes your present reality.
And maybe this is the most crucial point of all. I really want you to let this sink in. This victory isn't something you're fighting for. It's a reality you're living from. For those in union with Christ, it's already an accomplished fact. The victory is won.
So I'm going to leave you with a question to chew on. If death isn't the end, if it's really just a doorway, how does that change the way you live your life, starting today? How does it reframe your worries, your fears, and what you see as your ultimate purpose?